Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be completely alone, knowing that something terrifying is hunting you in the darkness? This is the story of Emily, a young explorer who loved visiting places that everyone else was too afraid to enter. One cold autumn night, she arrived at an abandoned wooden pier deep inside a forgotten swamp. The air smelled of rotten wood and decay. A thick layer of fog covered the silent river. Everything looked peaceful, until Emily heard a strange sound coming from the water. At first, she thought it was only the wind, but seconds later, dark figures slowly began rising from the muddy riverbank. Their pale eyes were locked on her. Their bodies moved in complete silence. And in that terrifying moment, Emily realized one horrifying truth. She was no longer alone. Emily slowly stepped backward, trying not to make a sound. But it was already too late. One of the creatures suddenly let out a terrifying scream. Within seconds, dozens of undead figures rushed out of the muddy riverbank. Emily turned and ran as fast as she could. The old wooden pier shook beneath her feet. Just as the creatures reached her, she jumped. Her body crashed into the muddy shore below. Without wasting a second, she pulled out her machete. The first creature charged toward her. Emily swung the blade with all her strength. The monster collapsed into the mud, but another one immediately took its place. Then another, and another. No matter how many she fought, more of them kept crawling out of the darkness. Emily finally realized she wasn't fighting a few monsters. She was trapped in the middle of an endless army of the dead. Emily knew she couldn't survive that fight for much longer. The undead just kept coming. Without looking back, she ran toward the dark forest. The twisted trees looked like giant hands reaching out of the darkness. Cold mist covered the ground, making every step more dangerous. Sharp branches scratched her face and arms as she pushed deeper into the woods. Behind her, the terrifying growls never stopped. She could hear dozens of footsteps dragging through the mud. Her breathing became heavier. Her legs were beginning to give up. Then, through the thick fog, Emily spotted a huge abandoned factory standing silently beneath the moonlight. Its broken windows looked like empty eyes watching her every move. She had no idea what was hiding inside, but she knew one thing. If she stayed outside, she would never live long enough to see another sunrise. Emily didn't stop running until she reached the factory's massive steel door. With every bit of strength she had left, she pushed it open and rushed inside. The heavy door slammed shut behind her. Without wasting a second, she grabbed a thick metal bar lying nearby and locked the entrance. Silence. For the first time that night, everything became completely quiet. Emily leaned against the wall, trying to catch her breath. Her hands were still shaking. She switched on her flashlight. Its weak beam slowly moved across the dusty machines. Broken conveyor belts, rusty metal pipes, and old equipment that had been abandoned for decades. Then, the light stopped on something unusual. An old rusted metal box sat alone on a wooden table in the center of the room. It looked strangely untouched, as if someone had been waiting for Emily to find it. Emily slowly walked toward the mysterious metal box. Every step echoed through the empty factory. Her flashlight flickered again. For a moment, the entire room went dark. When the light returned, the box was still there. She carefully reached out and brushed away years of thick dust. A strange symbol was carved into the rusty lid. It looked like some kind of warning. Emily placed her hand on the cold metal. Just as she was about to open it, a deafening bang shook the entire building. The factory walls trembled. Another bang, then another. The undead had found her. Gray, rotting hands began forcing their way through the cracks in the main door. The heavy steel door started bending under the pressure. Emily looked at the box, then back at the entrance. She knew she had only seconds left. Whatever was hidden inside that box, it was now her only chance to survive. Emily took a deep breath. The terrifying sounds outside were getting louder with every second. She knew there was no time left. With trembling hands, she slowly lifted the rusty lid of the metal box. A cold gust of air escaped from inside. There was no gold, no weapons, only an old leather journal, a faded map, and a strange silver pendant covered with ancient symbols. Emily quickly opened the journal. The first page read, "They are not dead. They are guarding something." Before she could read another word, a terrifying crash echoed through the factory. The main door burst open. Dozens of undead creatures flooded inside. Emily grabbed the journal and the pendant. Without looking back, she ran deeper into the factory, but she didn't notice. A pair of glowing red eyes silently watching her from the darkness above. Emily ran through the dark factory corridors as the terrifying screams echoed behind her. The old journal was tightly clutched in her hands. She finally reached a small storage room and quickly locked the door. Her breathing was heavy. For a few seconds, everything became silent again. She opened the journal to the next page. A faded photograph slipped onto the floor. It showed the same factory, taken almost 50 years ago. But something caught Emily's attention. Standing in the background was the exact same shadow with glowing red eyes. It hadn't changed. It hadn't aged. As Emily continued reading, the journal revealed a terrifying truth. The undead weren't hunting people for food. They were protecting the secret buried beneath the factory. Then, a slow knocking sound came from the other side of the door. Knock, knock, knock. Emily froze. Someone, or something, was patiently waiting for her to open the door. Emily stood completely still. The slow knocking suddenly stopped. A deep silence filled the room. Then, the old wooden door slowly opened by itself. No one was standing outside. Emily carefully stepped into the hallway. The entire factory had become strangely quiet. The undead creatures had disappeared, but something felt terribly wrong. She looked down at the silver pendant still hanging in her hand. It had started glowing with a strange blue light. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed through the factory. "You were never supposed to find the journal." Emily turned around. At the end of the hallway, a tall shadow with glowing red eyes slowly stepped out of the darkness. It wasn't one of the undead. It was something far older and far more dangerous. Emily tightened her grip on the journal. She knew her real fight had only just begun. What is the terrifying secret hidden beneath the factory? And who is the mysterious creature controlling the undead? You'll discover the truth in the next episode. But this was only the beginning. What Emily discovered inside the factory was far more terrifying than she had ever imagined. The real nightmare was just about to begin. What happens next? You'll find out in the next part. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling horror stories. See you in the next episode.